Okay, let's see if we can make this one come up a treat. It looks boring in the colour. We'll see if we can make it look any good. It's of something that I like. So yeah, we'll see if we can make it look any good. Hands shaky, folks. I did a really prolongated demo. Let's see how big we're gonna make this one. 300 by 280. I'm going to leave that out. Okay, let's see what we have. I have here win a month's free coffee from right here. I don't follow win this, win that, but I do like coffee, so I just thought this would be a nice picture for this demo of to do with coffee. I like coffee. I love my cappuccinos. I love dining out at the restaurant when I'm having a cappa. But we can't do that now because of coronavirus rules that are being enforced. So we can only enjoy our coffee as a takeaway. However much that takes some of the enjoyment out of it. Yeah, actually takeaway does taste nice. I do like the way it's really sweet when they mix the sugar in, and I think it's because the coffee's at its hottest when it's being pulled. Whereas if I'm just putting it in after they've pulled the coffee, it's not as sweet because, I didn't do this properly. It's not as sweet because the water is cooled, or the coffee's cooled down a bit. So it does. It tastes better than I thought. I always thought that if you had takeaway, it would you wouldn't be able to. They wouldn't be able to mix the coffee, or they don't mix it, but they do mix it really well. But that's what they're trying to do. They're baristas. They're very important people, because even though coffee might be seen as a triviality, it's important. It's big business because so many people, especially in the workforce, love their morning java. They love their morning start with their cup of coffee. It's just a part of life. It's a part of work life. It's one of those luxuries that seems like it's not needed, but so many people just drink it. They just love the shit. People just can't live happily without their morning start. And they often use it, of course, to keep themselves awake around the clock when they're working shifts. So I think night shifts, they probably have some. I think most cafes are closed late at night, but people still manage to get their drink somehow. That looks interesting. Might make it into a movement piece, folks. But basically, coffee is a popular drink for those in the workplace, and even those who are not so fortunate, like the homeless people on the street. I see a lot of homeless people having their cup, their daily cup. So it's not just for the rich or the middle class workers, it's for those people who are on the street as well. It's really nice to see some less fortunate folk enjoying something, just like their rich counterparts enjoy it, and their middle class. Coffee is a drink that transcends all classes, and pretty much it. It's like a lowest common denominator for everyone. It's not just for the rich or for the middle class. It's for the poor as well. And it's nice to see them enjoying something, a little treat. It's not going to give them housing or a job, but it's nice to see something, a little bit of enjoyment, a little bit of normalcy in their lives when things have just gone so wrong. I don't know if this is going to turn out, to be honest, folks. Even though I like my coffee, this one doesn't look like a... Yeah, that looks interesting. An interesting slant on coffee. Maybe if we angle it, we can make it in... We'll see what we do. But yeah, it's a coffee. Coffee is just something that is enjoyed by just about every class, and that's what I like. I like to see something being enjoyed, not just for the rich or the middle class, but for the poor as well, to see their cuppa, see them have a cuppa. I don't know how that's worked. But yeah, I like to see them have a cuppa, the poor people. Yeah, that looks shit house. Try another spin. It's not looking too good, folks. Yeah, that looks interesting. You can see the coffee's all muddled up. You can see that area there looks quite nice. Maybe we could enlarge maybe this little section here. Or maybe... That's a good question. We can try that again. But basically, yeah, it's a real lowest common denominator, the coffee drinking ritual. Very much a wonderful drink when you think about how it makes people happy. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, that looks interesting. That looks very interesting. Wondering if we could make this, maybe we can enlarge it on the vertical. I think this looks quite nice. So we're just going to put that one away, and we're just going to use this one we've just made. But basically, yeah, it's a lowest common denominator coffee. Wondering how we're going to make this work. Going to try another spin. I don't know if it's going to work like that. It's not an easy thing to do, this movement. It's not easy to control. Wondering if this has turned up a treat. Yeah, that looks really nice. That looks like we got the ingredients for a lovely mirror image. So now we can start with, I'm glad I did that. But basically, yeah, it's a lowest common denominator as a drink, as a ritual. It's a daily thing that we all do as a general rule. Not everyone drinks coffee, but that's all right. We're all entitled to what we want and what we don't. So I'm wondering where the centre of this job is going to be. I think it's going to be there. I was thinking there, but I'm thinking... but basically, yeah, it's a drink that transcends all boundaries of class. And it's nice to see something we all have in common despite our class differences. Let's see if I can make this look any good. Hands shaking, folks. This is going to be fairly prolongated. But I've got more than enough room on this micro SD card, so it might as well get used while I'm at it. So I'm wondering where the centre is actually going to be. So I'm pulling it, I'm thinking it's there, but then at the same time I'm thinking it's probably going to be there. That's a tricky one. We might do what's called a switcheroo if we're in doubt. So we're just going to continue and just do it that way. But I look forward to going back to the restaurant once the corona has blown over. Coronavirus, or COVID-19, which is its technical fancy name, COVID-19. But most people, I think, just call it coronavirus. It's a more simpler sounding term instead of the scientific COVID-19. I do like scientific terms, folks. I'm a real sucker for jargon. So I quite like the name COVID-19. Or if there's anything to like about that fucking shit, there isn't really. But I just like the name. For some reason, COVID-19 has a ring to it, a real scientific ring to it. But there's not much else I like about it. It's a horrible disease, and it kills people, especially elderly and other sick and vulnerable people. It can, most people survive it, strangely enough, but a lot of people who are elderly or vulnerable, in other ways, they end up dying often, which is sad. Anyway, that looks really quite nice. I'm actually thinking we won't do a switcheroo. I think that looks really nice. I think now we can call this demo quits.